Roland and House Wolffort succeed in reclaiming Glenbrook, but they cannot rest easy, for new dilemmas threaten to tear the kingdom apart. For one, the secret of Serenoa's birth come to light with Lord Simon's passing. Meanwhile, the newly crowned King Roland struggles to reconcile his ideals with reality after punishing the Royalists. Finally, there's the truth about the Roselle and the untapped salt crystals buried within the earth, revealed in a book to Frederica from her late mother. None of these revelations have an easy solution. As all parties discuss the matters, they receive word that the survivors of the Aesfrosti army are gathering at the Grand Norzellian mines. Forced to put all else aside to focus on driving out their foe, Serenoa and his comrades steel themselves for battle.
The remnants of the Aesfrosti forces are gathering at the Grand Norzellian mines. Or perhaps I should say they are rallying there, preparing to defend it to the last.
Something tells me you're right. Gustadolf may have used Lord Dragan's murder as pretext for invading Glenbrook. Yet I believe his true aim was to seize control, not of our kingdom, but of the mines.
Once Glenbrook fell to them, Aesfrost did indeed continue mining operations, with notable zeal. Apparently, they transported huge shipments of what they excavated to the duchy, too.
You mean iron ore?
One would assume as much, but we do not know for certain. They say only a chosen few were allowed to have anything to do with the mining or transport.
Odd, ain't it? Granted, the iron from the Grand Norzellian mines is supposed to be decent stuff.
But the Duchy has access to plenty of other iron mines of comparable quality. They've certainly no need to go to such pains to obtain resources from this one.
You reckon there's something special about it?
What my mother wrote of must be true.
I've returned from scouting the Grand Norzellian mines. There were no signs of miners or couriers anywhere. The enemy's numbers do not appear that great, but the soldiers were occupied with some task within the mine. I cannot say exactly how many they are.
Thank you, Hewitt. Well done. Well, there you have it. The Aesfrosti army is scheming something at the mines. Whatever they are planning, we cannot allow them to continue unchallenged.
Then let us reclaim the Grand Norzellian mines. And in doing so, we shall discover the Duchy's aims in due course.
Glenbrook has withdrawn from the sanctions and reopened trade with us.
King Roland is truly a man of his word.
Furthermore, during the battle for the Crown City, our forces sustained nary a scratch, while the Aesfrosti were all but crushed. We could not have asked for a more auspicious outcome.
An outcome that would not have been possible without the Elfric we supplied them. Still, Minister Serenoa and House Wolffort must be given credit for aiding in our victory.
Minister Exham, how strange to hear you lavish such praise upon another.
I am only speaking truth. Leaving Minister Serenoa in Glenbrook's hands is unwise.
I agree. As one of the Saintly Seven, he belongs here with us.
Of course. We shall bring him under our thumb. The Holy One has plans for the young lord. Making him our creature has the added benefit of bringing his entire domain under Hyzantean rule.
But I doubt His Majesty will be so willing to part with him.
Oh, indeed. And yet King Roland owes us a great debt, which will be all the greater after we help him rebuild the Crown City. We will so overwhelm him with generosity, he will be unable to refuse us anything.
So, you mean to seize Glenbrook as well, Minister Edor? Somehow I am unsurprised.
I seek nothing more than to spread the goddess's grace and wisdom to Glenbrook and even Aesfrost, until her divine protection shelters Nozelia in its entirety. That is what the goddess desires, and therefore, what the Hierophant desires as well.
Is this all of it?
Yes, my lord. This is all the cargo we were able to carry. Our comrades at the mine should be putting the final touches on everything right about now.
And why is no one telling me what is happening? I don't even know what cargo you are hauling.
We're only following Archduke Gustadolf's orders, my lord.
Yes, I understand that. Stop your sniveling. Perhaps you may have heard the Archduke has summoned me to Ironstone. This may be the last time I serve at this fort. As such, I would like to show my appreciation for everything you've done. Do you have a moment?
The sentiment is appreciated, my lord, but the Archduke insisted we make haste.
And did he also insist you spit in the face of his uncle's generosity?
No, my lord. Of course not. I meant no disrespect. We shan't refuse your gracious offer.
Come with me.
Can all that cargo truly be naught but iron ore? I suppose I shall have to find out what it is for myself.
Were those the only ones?
I do not understand. There were far more soldiers here when I came scouting.
They've mined more since the last time we were here. Perhaps the enemy is further within.
Likely that's the case. But navigating these twisted tunnels ain't gonna be fun.
Indeed. The enemy may be waiting to ambush us around any corner. I advise we familiarize ourselves with the nearby tunnels before we head any deeper into the mine, Lord Serenoa.
Agreed. Let's take care to cover our tracks while we look around. Benedict, these spheres everywhere. Unless I'm mistaken, they're explosives.
Yes, a means Lord Dragan devised for breaking through the bedrock. They aren't as powerful as blast crystals, but they are simple to set and can be manipulated to go off at the same time.
Reckon I'll go collect whatever charges are left, my lord. Just to be safe.
Thank you. I do not find it strange that there are explosives in a mine, only that they have been left here.
Indeed. As deadly as they are, one would hope they were stored more safely.
You'd think the miners would have put them at the far end of the tunnel if they meant to use them.
But they're everywhere, along the whole length.
If they were to detonate, the entire tunnel would collapse.
Then they must have been left here on purpose.
Intruders! Get them!
The Aesfrosti army! The Aesfrosti mean to seal off the mine!
Do not let them through the tunnel. Kill them!
But this is House Wolffort we're up against, Commander.
Think I don't know that? The battle won't be easily won. But if we've the metal to use our explosives, victory may cost us our lives, but we can take those Wolffort curs with us. For Aesfrost, for an end to Hyzanthe tyranny. We must blockade the mines. Soldiers, make ready.
Aye! No, they don't mean to.
They would blow the tunnel at the cost of their own lives?
Excellent.
My magic is at your disposal.
If you
I'm on my way! Understood.
And now, to arms!
May we return? I am ready.
I'll do my best. And now, to arms!
Understood.
Comrades,
If it costs us our lives to destroy our enemy, so be it. Detonate the charges and let them rot in pieces among the iron.
We've no hope if they set off the explosives. Do not take this lightly. They're willing to martyr themselves to defeat us. Defeat is not an option.
Incredible!
Now I end this.
Your orders?
I'll take this.
Shadows conceal me.
My turn.
Now what to do?
Good try.
Let us pry out their weakness. Preparation is key. My knowledge grows deeper.
for you. Victory is within reach.
Here I come. Lend me your wings, Floogie!
Now it's my turn. Gotta take it on the chin.
That'll do!
All right, the rest of you, keep going! Blow up the tunnel and seal off the mines!
Damn it! Come at me! Allow me.
That's it!
Here I come!
Cool heads shall prevail. Victory goes to the quick.
Aye, I'll keep on then.
Where was I?
Forward!
Your orders?
For victory!
Yeah! You don't stand a chance!
For the duchy! For the love...
More of them.
Now what to do?
I shall try my level best. We must stay vigilant.
I'll take you on!
Here I come.
Try this! Come on, then.
Time for some sorcery.
Now then, to work.
Like I'm up.
Shall we begin?
Defeat is not an option. Now I end this.
Time to work.
I won't lose!
Let us pry out their weakness.
Now what to do? Come on, then. All or nothing.
Wolffort bastards will have no...
More soldiers.
I've been waiting for this!
Push on through!
Here I come!
Too obvious.
Chance.
No need to panic.
Got my sights all set.
Shall we begin? Victory goes to the quick.
Much appreciated. Forward! Not so fast.
Time to take flight. Goodbye!
I will end this.
Where was I? Come on! I won't lose!
There is no mercy on the battlefield. we make it up here.
Choices, choices. Leave everything to me. Here goes!
Huh. No! No! I'll take you on! Victory!
Time for some sorcery.
Defeat is not an option. Unite under the Wolffort banner!
This is... my turn.
Looks like I'm up. I saw that! I saw that!
The hunt is on. Focus.
Shall we begin?
Now then, to work. For victory! Did you see that?
The Aesfrosti soldiers have been dealt with. The mine is ours again. That was close. To think they tried to collapse the tunnel with themselves still inside.
Why would the Aesfrosti blow themselves up to destroy the place they were charged to defend? It makes no strategic sense.
Nothing Aesfrost does make sense. But if they were this desperate, there must be something in there they do not want us finding. We must see what lies at the end of this tunnel.
Now let us press on.
Oh! These pink rocks aren't iron.
It's salt. Or rather, salt crystal.
Crystallized salt, untapped beneath the earth. The Rosellan legend my mother recorded is true.
The Grand Norzelian mines must have been built upon a vein of crystals. This explains how Aesfrost was able to cut ties with Hyzanthe.
As long as they could excavate their own, they didn't need to rely on the salt from the Holy State. They could fight without it.
How do you think Gustadolf discovered this?
Lord Dragan was in charge of the mines, until he was assassinated in that sudden Aesfrosti raid, which Gustadolf used as a pretense to invade Glenbrook, after which he claimed control of the mines. That tells me Lord Dragan was likely the first to discover the salt crystals. However, a struggle ensued between him and Gustadolf over their ownership.
So Gustadolf had him killed and ordered the invasion of Glenbrook. In order to seize control of the mines and secure the salt crystals for himself. That scheming bastard!
Looks like we made the right call, taking back the mines. They already took loads of salt crystals to the Duchy, but even that ain't gonna last them forever.
Indeed. If we can hold the mines, Aesfrost will have no choice but to surrender.
And what if they discover another vein of salt crystals elsewhere?
A real possibility, if the Rosellan legend is to be believed. But the Grand Norzelian mines only succeeded because all three powers worked together. If this is the kind of terrain salt crystals are found in, Aesfrost cannot dig a new mine all on their own that easily.
Meaning they are at their most vulnerable now, without a source of salt to call their own.
This does not concern only Aesfrost. The existence of salt crystals will undermine the very foundation upon which Hyzanthe is built.
If people knew that, then the two pillars of Hyzantean power, the source and the might of their goddess, would crumble.
And it would prove the Rosellan legend is true. If we reveal the truth, they would be forced to free the Rosell they've imprisoned.
We hold the very future of Norzelia in our hands.
Whatever we decide to do, we cannot decide it lightly.
Indeed. For now, let us return to the Crown City. Huet, send word to the capital. I want Kingdom soldiers posted around this entire area. Tell them to allow no one anywhere near the mines.
It shall be done, sire.
This must be what the old man was hoping to find.
So, our army failed to secure the Grand Norzelian mines.
It would seem House Wolffort interfered. Glenbrook forces already surround the area, so retaking the mines is likely out of the question.
They must have discovered the salt crystals. Damn them. Gather our soldiers, and be quick about it.
Aye, Your Grace.
I see you finally decided to answer my summons, Svarog.
I shan't use laboring in secret to complete the death's knell as an excuse. Punish me as you see fit. If you think you can, that is.
I ought to wipe that impertinent smile off your face.
I saw what they brought in from the Grand Norzelian mines.
Huh. So you know of the salt crystals?
Enough secrets, Gustadolf. Tell me what you are planning.
To use those salt crystals to put the final nail in Hyzanthe's coffin. To free the people of Norzelia from their tyranny by ending their monopoly over salt.
By which you mean the strong will be free to trample the weak. Is that it?
I will not argue semantics. Though it is at least far more human to struggle for one's own survival, rather than capitulate to the whims of some goddess. People have the right to discover their own strength, and wield it to claim what is rightfully theirs. Just as you are contesting me at this very moment, Uncle.
How long have you known of the salt crystal's existence?
I learned of the possibility long ago, when I read of them in an old text from the archives. Ancient knowledge should never be discarded, as you well know, since you had Dragan study there to perfect his explosives.
You are the one who had him killed.
Spare me your unfounded speculation.
Unfounded, you say? Dragan oversaw the mine. It only stands to reason that he would have discovered the salt crystals first. So you, in your greed, had him killed, so that you might claim his discovery for your own! Not only that, but you used his murder as a pretext to invade Glenbrook. Am I wrong?
Huh. You have an admirable imagination. Admirable, but mistaken. Your son was quite the ambitious man, you know.
What do you mean?
You know very well what I mean. Indeed, Dragan did discover the salt crystals. Who else do you think told me of their existence? Yet he refused to hand them over unless I made him Prime Minister of Aesfrost. And your son's scheming didn't end there. At the same time, he had initiated negotiations with Glenbrook. He offered them salt crystals in exchange for a noble title. He sought to fatherland and foe for all he could get.
Lies! All of it! How dare you dishonor my son's name!
I thought if anyone understood the extent of Dragan's ambition, it would be you. Uncle, now is not the time for family squabbles. Glenbrook now knows of the salt crystals. It is but a matter of time until Hyzanthe learns of them as well. We must make ready to stand against them.
What would you have me do?
The death's knell is taking far too long to build. See that it is finished with haste. Do that, and I will name you my Prime Minister, so you may fulfill your dearly departed son's dream in his stead.
Very well.
There is no time to waste. War will be upon our doorstep before we know it. A war to end all wars. A war whose victor shall rule Norzelia in her glorious entirety.
Deep in the Grand Norzelian mines lay a most unexpected discovery. Crystals of pure salt. Now in possession of knowledge that could alter the course of history in Norzelia, the members of House Wolffort gather at Whiteholm Castle to discuss their next move.
Unexpected though it may be, the salt crystals are now ours. How shall we proceed?
Carefully. for it has the potential to alter the balance of power across Norzelia. This is an opportunity to reshape the realm to our benefit. We must be strategic.
It's a target on our backs is what it is. There'll be no peace for us so long as we hold him.
Hyzanthe will set upon us with a fury we've never known if they hear of this.
She's right. They will stop at nothing to defend their faith.
Nor will Aesfrost go quietly into the night.
Then let us prepare for when word does spread, rather than fret over how long we can keep the secret. Whether we protect the salt as ours, or find another way to use it, we must act soon.
What say you, Your Majesty?
We find ourselves at a crossroads. Not just as a kingdom, but an entire realm. Our decision will touch every life in Norzelia. I too wish to act quickly, but I beg you all for a moment alone with my thoughts.
Your caution is admirable, but ill-advised. Hesitation could cost us everything.
That much is obvious. Yet I cannot race headlong into the unknown when so much depends upon us.
Benedict, I find myself unmoored as well. I wish to hear from all present before we decide upon a course of action.
As you wish. Pray let it be swift.
Serenoa, answer me this. Can I count on you to walk the path with me, whatever it may be?
I was named Lord of House Wolffort long before I was inducted into the Saintly Seven. And I've been your friend even longer still.
Say no more. Take the others to Castle Wolffort and await my word. Likewise, inform me of any movements from Hyzanthe.
As you wish. Until we meet again.
Ah, Milo has sent a dispatch from Glenbrook. Deep within the Grand Rosalian mines lies... It would seem salt crystals were found within.
Impossible!
The discovery of salt outside the source explains Gustadolf's recent provocations.
How can you be so calm? The teachings tell us that salt is a blessing, bestowed only upon the goddess's followers. The discovery of these salt crystals is an existential threat to Hyzanthe.
Salt crystals are salt too. We need only keep word of this discovery from spreading.
Of course. But how?
The Hierophant has spoken. Minister Exham, you shall raise an army and seize the Grand Rosalian mines in Hyzanthe's name.
The Hierophant asks us to invade Glenbrook?
Do you have another way to silence King Roland and his royal hounds in House Wolffort?
Minister Serenoa is one of us, and thus is honor-bound to heed the Hierophant's word. But we know not if he will do so, or if he will cast his lot with his precious king. You shall ask him yourself when you surround Castle Wolffort en route to the mine.
And if he resists?
You are free to deal with him, as we do with all who forsake the goddess.
Have you heard the popular rumor, Lord Claris?
That Hyzanthe intends to raise an army against Glenbrook? Yes, I am familiar.
So it's reached the Consortium then. Is it true?
King Roland has only just reclaimed the Crown City with Hyzanthe's help, not to mention restored relations with them. Ordinarily, such a thing would be unthinkable, but the rumors are so persistent that I think something may be afoot.
For example?
I wouldn't be so restless if I had an example to give.
Aesfrost gathers its troops at Twinsgate. Might they have heard the rumors as well?
Perhaps. A battle for the very soul of Norzelia may loom on the horizon. But therein lies the opportunity for merchants like us. You can't wage war without a surfeit of supplies.
You're quite right about that.
And each shift in Norzelia's power balance opens new business opportunities.
Will the Consortium continue trading with Hyzanthe?
'Tis difficult to say. I believe House Wolffort's actions from here on will be key to the Consortium's decision.
House Wolffort, you say?
Indeed. They've been involved in most every conflict between the three nations on this continent. Why stop now? I shall wait and see how Lord Serenoa responds first, lest I make any hasty decisions.
I am gladdened to see each and every one of you, my ironclad brothers in arms, here at Twinsgate. I have asked you here to tell you of a most fortuitous discovery. We have found crystals of salt deep in the Grand Norzelian mines. Alas, Glenbrook has taken those very mines from us. What's worse, Glenbrook's esteemed House Wolffort is led by one of the saintly seven of Hyzanthe. They will no doubt be informed of the salt crystals, and their precious religion will be shaken to its core. I trust you can all imagine how Hyzanthe will respond to such an affront. They will not go quietly, but will instead seek the crystals for themselves, that their reign of terror may continue unimpeded. Therefore, we must subdue Glenbrook and seize the mines for Aesfrost if we are to counter this grave threat. But we cannot stop there, for that will only draw Hyzanthe to our gates. They will stop at nothing to conquer all of Norzelia in their name. The Duchy has never been in a more precarious position. But we will not yield. We subscribe to no faith, and we bend the knee for no king. We shall greet our enemies at Twinsgate with cold, hard steel. Our newest weapon, the Death's Knell, is nearly complete. With it, we shall strike back at Hyzanthe. The false goddess shall crumble beneath the sheer force of our iron will, and Hyzanthe reduced to rubble along with her. Raise your swords, my black iron heroes. Your names shall be cast in iron when the histories of this day are written. You shall be known as the defenders of Aesfrost.
For Aesfrost!
Oh yes. The Death's Knell will reduce many a falsehood to rubble, dear Gustadolf.
Hyzanthe has learned of the salt crystals. Minister Exham of the Saintly Seven wastes no time in mustering his army, which now marches on the Grand Norzelian mines. Elsewhere, Gustadolf amasses his own forces at Twins Gate in anticipation of the war to come. All eyes are on Glenbrook, where Roland and Serenoa's pronouncement could touch off a battle for the soul of Norzelia. After much deliberation, Roland makes his way to Castle Wolffort to inform Serenoa of the decision that now weighs heavy on his heart.
I appreciate you coming all this way, Roland.
I was the one who asked for your time, so it is only natural I make the journey. I wish to tell you that I finally made up my mind.
And I would hear your decision if you were willing to share it with me.
I've long pondered over the one thing that Norzelia needs most. I thought back on the Salt Iron War. 30 years have passed, yet the root of our conflict remains the same. Each nation still thinks only of itself, wishing to fill its coffers even at the expense of others. But who bears the brunt of such a war?
The people.
Exactly so. The avarice of the ruler is an existential threat to their loyal subjects.
And yet without that wealth, the people suffer just as much. They languish in poverty.
This much is obvious. But there can be no winner without a loser. Remove one, and you necessarily remove the other. If we achieve equality, we achieve peace.
And how do you propose we achieve... No. No, surely you don't mean...
Yes. The goddess's teachings. All can live as equals under the goddess. An authority greater than any king. The model nation was in front of us all along, Serenoa. The holy state of Hyzanthe. I have decided that we must give the salt crystals in the Grand Norzelian mines to Hyzanthe.
And in so doing, you'll give them control of all Norzelia.
Exactly. There will be no more squabbling over salt. Norzelia will know eternal peace at last.
Unequal peace, surely. One built on the backs of a people like the Roselle, if not the Roselle themselves.
I am not blind to that fact. But so few will suffer for the good of so many. Nothing in this world is perfect, Serenoa. The sacrifice of the few for the good of the many. It's the only clear answer, and one I would give every time I were asked.
Submitting to the goddess will rob you of your kingship.
So be it. My crown. My pride. They are but small prices to pay for peace.
You are truly prepared to throw it all away.
Join me, Serenoa. Let us unite Norzelia under the Holy State.
Roland, this is quite sudden.
I understand. Pray, take all the time you need. I expect Frederica will want nothing to do with this plan, seeing as it forsakes her people. I am already mourning the rift this may cause between you, but I shall not be swayed. This will be my final act as Glenbrook's king.
King Roland's anguish plays plainly across his face. It pains me to see him so tortured.
I'm not surprised. The future of our kingdom, to say nothing of the entire continent, rests upon his shoulders.
Pray tell, what do you intend to do about the salt crystals?
In truth, I cannot decide. Salt is too precious to be hoarded. We've a duty to share it with the people, which is...
Where the difficulty lies, yes. The source makes that all too clear. Salt lies at the heart of every war in Norzelia.
Would that the boundless salted sea of Rosellan legend still existed. We'd have no need of conflict if there were a source of salt for all.
My love, if I may, the discovery of the salt crystals has made two things plain to me. The first is that my mother spoke true in the legend she passed on to me.
And the other is that the goddess's teachings are nothing more than a lie built to constrain your people.
Just so. We are guilty of nothing. Yet the Roselle languish in the source, where they are looked down upon and forced to work until they die. Entire generations lost, countless lives given to Hyzanthe's cruelty. Cruelty created to justify Hyzanthe's own avarice and lust for power.
Such is the ugly lie at the heart of their teachings.
One revealed by a crystal of the mineral they hold so dear. The time has come, Serenoa. The Roselle must be freed. The salt crystals have brought us to the brink of war. We can harness this unrest, incite the Roselle to rise up and rebel against their captors.
I am with you. Believe me, I am. But you make it sound so...
Simple. Yes, I know. But the suffering of my people is so distant for everyone else. We can no longer wait for someone to do the right thing. Help isn't coming. Why else would my own mother incite rebellion? We are alone.
I swear to you, none of this feels distant to me. The Roselle live in my domain. I am betrothed to you, my dear. It couldn't feel any closer.
And I thank the stars that I have you by my side. I do. In truth, that's why I think this time will be different. Why I'll be able to accomplish what my mother could not.
I agree. But the risk is immense. Suppose we succeed, what then? Hyzanthe will not let us go quietly.
Of course not.
And when that time comes, you can lead the Roselle to Centralia, just as your mother wrote about in the book she left behind. Beyond the Great Falls and the Folk's domain at the end of the Norzelia River. The ancestral home of the Roselle.
But that's just a legend.
We've already found one legend to be rooted in truth. Perhaps this one is as well. And if not, at least you'll be safe from harm.
I doubt Benedict will share our feelings, though. Abandoning all we've built to embark on a journey fraught with danger in search of a legend. Yet no matter how perilous the path ahead, I would happily walk it at your side.
I trust you understand what a monumental effect the discovery of these salt crystals will have on Norzelia's history. Whatever course of action we choose will determine whether House Wolffort leaves a legacy in that history, or is expunged from it.
How would you proceed, Benedict?
I would do all I could to keep it from falling into Hyzanthe's hands. They already control the source. With the crystals in hand, they will solidify their grip on the realm and in time dominate it. The siren song of a false equality under their goddess shall blanket the land, claiming every domain and its people.
Even though they count me among the Saintly Seven?
Even then, for that matters little when the equality they espouse is dictated by the goddess, or should I say, the Hierophant. In the end, they will have the same life and death control over all Norzelia that they now hold over the Roselle.
And our wounds from the battle with Aesfrost have only begun to heal. Hyzanthe will destroy us if we wage war against them in our current state.
But they stand little chance against us if we ally with Aesfrost.
Ally with Aesfrost? Are you of sound mind, Benedict?
Quite. Think about it for a moment. Aesfrost wants nothing more than to loosen Hyzanthe's grip. They will go to war if it means control of the salt crystals.
Our interests are broadly aligned, yes, but...
Aesfrost has been building toward precisely that purpose for some time now.
You speak of the Death Knell, the weapon that Cordelia mentioned.
Precisely. A weapon capable of reducing the goddess's shield to rubble, leaving Hyzanthe's capital ripe for the taking. Without that weapon, we cannot win. You need only say the word, and I shall convince Aesfrost to join our side.
I appreciate your candor, Benedict, and I do not doubt you could secure Aesfrost's cooperation. But I fear the harder fight is within our own domain. King Roland's heart will not be easily won.
I bid you listen closely and calmly to what I'm about to ask.
From whence this somber tone?
Do you believe King Roland is fit to rule?
What are you implying?
Decorum is of little use when the fate of our realm is at stake, Lord Serenoa. Are you content to spend the rest of your life in servitude to another?
Not another word, Benedict. Roland is more than my king. He is my friend.
And you are Lord of House Wolffort, whose military prowess is known to all Norzelia. Not the guard dog of Glenbrook and Hyzanthe. What else are you here to do, if not to protect your house and keep its banner aloft? But you have the potential for so much more. All Norzelia could be yours if you but desired it.
Treason, if not outright regicide. These are your suggestions.
Of course not. The blood in your veins and the royal family's ring are claim enough to the throne. There is no need for violence.
I told you not to speak of that again.
But you did not tell me to forget. The time to reckon with your lineage draws near. You must make a...
I've heard enough. Leave me.
Just know that I will do anything you ask of me, Lord Serenoa. I pray that you make the right choice, not only for House Wolffort, but for yourself.
You are certain Hyzanthe's army marches for the Grand Norzelian mines?
There is no doubt.
They've heard word of the crystals.
It was only a matter of time. We knew this.
Aesfrost's army gathers at Twinsgate as well.
War's breaking out over this thing, and we've got to be ready.
How will Glenbrook respond, King Roland?
There's no need to prepare for war. I have decided that we will surrender the salt crystals to the holy state of Hyzanthe.
What?
Furthermore, I hereby declare that the kingdom of Glenbrook and its people shall submit to the goddess and her teachings. There is no way to bring happiness to all Norzelia with the salt crystals, which is why I have chosen a path that will allow the greatest number of people to live in equality and harmony.
How could you? Do you not see that Hyzanthe's dominion over Norzelia's salt is why we are in conflict already? Is the suffering of the Rosal not proof enough that the goddess's vaunted equality is a lie?
She speaks the truth, my king. Handing over the salt crystals is tantamount to giving Hyzanthe's goddess free reign of Norzelia. Will you so readily surrender the realm to the Hierophant?
I acknowledge the abdication of my kingdom and kingship alike. A small price to pay in my eyes, in exchange for the security and prosperity of the many.
And the sacrifice of the Rosal, is that a small price to you?
It is.
How could you say such a thing to my face?
I, for one, oppose. I would prefer to ally with Aesfrost and strike back at Hyzanthe. The salt deposits within the mines give us the leverage we need to convince Gustadolf to join us.
Ally with Aesfrost? You dare suggest we ally with the man who murdered my father?
I see no reason why we should not. You proposed abdicating the throne for the sake of the kingdom and its people. So you should have no trouble putting aside your own feelings and judging this matter dispassionately.
I cannot believe my own ears. I will not have you lecture me on feelings when it is not your father he murdered.
None of you can see beyond your own grievances. It's no wonder my people have suffered for generations. We're told to believe in the goddess, while our own lives are thrown away to make a few more grains of your precious salt. And now, even with proof that the goddess is a lie, you would watch us dig our own graves for your comfort.
Lady Frederica, please. We shall speak of the Rosal in due time.
No, I've heard that before. Your due time is never, and I will not have you cast us aside for another 3 decades or more. All else is in disarray. If Hyzanthe seizes the salt crystals, we forfeit the best opportunity in decades to free my people. We know the truth. We must act upon it. We must be a light in the darkness.
We cannot afford to dilute our forces when the enemy marches on us as we speak.
So we are a distraction to you?
I am merely being rational. Liberating the Rosal would be extremely dangerous. We cannot take such a risk. Suppose we succeed. How do you propose we fend off the fury Hyzanthe will rain down upon us?
Aesfrost would pounce on us, sensing weakness at the undue burden we've taken upon ourselves.
Precisely. We would be without allies and ripe for the taking.
There is another way.
And what, pray tell, would that be?
We set out alongside the Rosal in search of Centralia.
Centralia is a myth.
The legends of my people are true.
I care not one whit if they are. I will hear no talk of forsaking the Wolffort domain.
Silence! I have heard enough to know where each of you stand. Do you all hold the courage of your own convictions?
I do.
Nothing I've heard here has swayed me.
I feel the same.
Very well. But know that a choice must be made. There can only be one way forward. Face the scales of conviction and prepare to make peace with the outcome.
Lord Serenoa. However, no. But
Serenoa. But... I have decided.
What do you need? Well... I don't think so. What do you need? However, But... Furthermore...
Aye, lad. Here's what I think. And so...
It is time to cast our votes. The opinions before us are approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
You aren't wrong, but...
My apologies.
I have faith in you.
I'm with you.
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen. Equal votes for all sides. As such, the Lord of the House the way forward is decided. Frederica's dream is worth realizing.
A tumultuous meeting exposes a yawning chasm between Roland, Frederica, and Benedict's visions for the future. Yet only one will emerge victorious, for such is the custom of House Wolffort. As ever, the scales of conviction have the final word. The time has come for judgments to be rendered, and leaders to steel themselves for the outcome.
We've chosen our path. We are to free the Roselle being held in Hyzanthe's source.
You have chosen the one path I cannot take.
I understand your disappointment, Benedict, but the scales have spoken. And so I ask for your wisdom. Help us find a way to free the Roselle.
Hyzanthe will destroy everything you hold dear if you attempt to free them. That way lies ruin. Your choice is to turn your back on this house, to cast aside your land and the people who have built their lives upon it. I will not, I cannot endorse such betrayal.
I agree that we will be ill-prepared to defend the domain this way. Should that come to pass, I am prepared to flee with the Roselle and search for Centralia. They say it is home to a boundless salted sea. Surely a land where none need fight for salt is a land worth seeking. This is an opportunity, Benedict. We could find a new home instead of fighting the wars of old yet again.
Why not channel that resolve to lead the people of Norzelia as their king? You hold the power and the might. You lack only the will. With the salt crystals in hand, you shall ascend the throne. I shall see to it that you are coronated. Then we can liberate the Roselle. or whatever else your heart desires.
Liberate the Roselle, or whatever else. I never dreamed I would hear such callous words fall from your lips.
I stand by them. I care only that you and the legacy of House Wolffort are safe and secure. I shall offer my counsel by force, if needed.
You don't mean to fight the lad.
Stand down, Benedict.
No, Anna. This is a challenge that I must accept.
I beg you to reconsider. If you mean to proceed with this folly, then you will do so over my dead body. You can do so much more, Lord Serenoa. The salt crystals give you the upper hand. Aesfrost and Hyzanthe would bend the knee to you. You could unite all Norzelia under your rule.
You were right about me, Benedict. I lack the will. I have no desire to rule Norzelia. I wish to see an oppressed people set free and nothing more.
At what cost? Would you see your loyal subjects conquered by another nation?
I would forfeit my lordship. The people of Wolffort will endure without me. The Roselle have no such champion for their cause. We are the only ones who can set them free.
Give me the order, and I shall reduce Hyzanthe to rubble. Then they shall be free.
The ensuing battle will only breed further resentment, or worse, displace others who will be treated like the Roselle. War cannot solve every problem, and our liberation of the Roselle shall prove as much.
So, you now take blind counsel from your betrothed. To think that an arranged marriage will lead to this folly.
Enough! I came to this conclusion of my own free will. I have seen the challenges that face Norzelia, and this is how I choose to respond.
You are every inch Lady Destra's child. Your compassion steers you headlong into every conflict. Alas, compassion is easily trampled. It can only exist so long as it has an army at its back. My patience grows thin, Lord Serenoa. The salt crystals give you the power to bring peace to Norzelia.
You're wrong. It is little more than the catalyst for another protracted war.
A war we can win. Let me lead you to victory.
There is always a war to be won. Do you not see the cycle at work? I will break that cycle and use my power to liberate the oppressed.
You talk of fleeing from your duty, of pure fantasy.
We need you, Benedict. Why can you not put our differences aside?
This is absurd. You race toward your own destruction, and I will not be party to it. Lord Simon entrusted me with the future of this house. And I swore an oath to Lady Destra that I would protect you no matter what the cost.
You are shackled to the past, Benedict.
I would call it loyalty.
And it has come to this. For the sake of our future, I must strike you down.
Prepare yourself. You came, you missed.
Here!
You came, you missed. yield. Grant me the mercy of a swift death.
No. Neither father nor mother would stand for the killing of a loyal retainer. The rest of us shall make our way to Hyzanthe in secret. You will remain here. Lead the people out of the Wolffort domain before the Hyzantian army assaults this castle, and keep them safe.
These are your orders, in exchange for sparing my life?
These are not orders, and there is no exchange to be made. This is the last thing I will ever ask of you as my steward and loyal friend of House Wolffort.
And so, you follow in the footsteps of Lord Simon and Lady Destra, leaving me behind with the most arduous tasks. I shall rise to the occasion, my lord. I shall do whatever is required to see that the Wolffort name and its people survive. Should House Wolffort lose its lord, I shall lead the house forward in your stead.
I have no doubt you will.
Benedict.
Mule-headed fool.
We've each made our choices. Now we must walk the path we believe is right.
Yes.
King Roland, this decision means casting Glenbrook aside. I know I cannot ask you to come with me, but will you agree to see to the salt crystals?
No. I am sorry, my friend. But I am not worthy to oversee such an important task.
Of course you are. You have always striven to be fair and just.
You hold me much too high in regard. Our conversation earlier made me realize the truth. My faith was misguided, as were my actions. I believed exacting vengeance upon Aesfrost would be proof enough I was Glenbrook's rightful king. But I gave no thought to the bloody cost of revenge. This kingdom and its subjects should not have to suffer such a selfish fool upon the throne.
Then, you will come with me?
I shall. Not as your king, but as your friend. If I can help those in need, that is enough. Glenbrook has the geographical advantage, and the salt crystals. And there are a small handful of trustworthy nobles remaining. I'm certain they will ensure the people thrive, even without a king. Glenbrook is in too powerful a position for foreign powers to interfere.
Roland.
You know you aren't leaving me behind. I've come this far by your side. I'm not abandoning you now.
You have my thanks, Huette.
Frederica, don't you think you ought to make your convictions clear to your companions?
Well, it's common knowledge by now that I'm an Aesfrosti of Rosellan descent. I was a lonely child who hated that her hair was a different color from everyone else. But then I joined House Wolffort. I met Jerome and witnessed the cruelty that my fellow Roselle suffered at the source. And I learned how brave my mother was, how long and hard she fought for her people's freedom. Compared to the horrors they went through, I have lived a life of privilege and comfort. I am proud to be a Rosellan, and proud to be a Wolffort. I wish to be strong, strong like my lady mother before me. And I wish to see her dream of freeing our people fulfilled. I understand the difficulties that lie ahead, but hope that I might have you all with me.
We will always be there beside you, Frederica.
My lord, Hyzanthe's army has sent a message ahead of their forces. It says, the Grand Norzalian mines must be conferred to the goddess as a divine offering.
An offering? Sounds more like an ultimatum.
Precisely. If we refuse to relinquish the mines, they'll put the Wolffort domain to the sword.
Then we've no time to waste. We must make ready to leave at once.
Benedict.
I leave the rest in your hands, Anna.
All these years I have watched you. I may not be able to replace you, but I will do my best.
Loath as I am to burden you with such responsibility, that is heartening.
This ain't the Benedict I know. Come on, where's your usual glower?
You never change.
Huh, I should hope not. Defending House Wolffort calls for consistency. And defend Wolffort I shall, even in your absence.
I shall hold you to it, both of you.
I'm telling you, we've got it under control.
Your voice hasn't gotten any quieter.
Sorry. Parting ways with a friend always gets me worked up.
Thank you for seeing me off, you two. Farewell.
What of the Hyzanthean forces?
They haven't entered the domain yet. If we act now, we could sneak around them and reach the capital.
Focused as they are on seizing the salt crystal deposits, I'd wager their domestic defenses are at a minimum.
If we can get into the capital and have the Roselle and the Source take up arms, we should stand a fair chance of helping them escape.
But Hyzanthe is wary of Serenoa for keeping the salt crystals from them, despite his position as one of the Saintly Seven. They may be short-handed, but if they spot him, we'll never make it inside.
We can use the Consortium cart to slip unnoticed into the capital.
The wagon from Claris? You sure we can trust the Consortium?
Yes. If only because this benefits both us and him. In exchange, I told him what secrets we learned of Aesfrost and Hyzanthe.
You mean you told him of Dragan's murder and the illicit salt trade? I hope he understands those secrets must never leave his lips.
He understands. Once people learn of the salt crystals, Norzelia will change. And the Consortium will have a new role to serve. Now that they know, they will be better prepared to negotiate their position. They agreed to help us as a show of gratitude.
You've thought this through. Well done, Anna.
What of our things, Gila?
Stored safely within the cart, of course.
Things? What things?
The explosives we found in the tunnel.
After we've gotten the Roselle to rise up, we'll set sail from the harbor and make for the Folk's domain, to the Great Falls. To make sure no one follows us, we'll blow up all the other ships in the harbor as we leave.
Frederica and I devised the plan ourselves.
A perfect way to make an escape with so many people.
Wise of you to make for the Folk's domain. It's distant enough. You'll have plenty of time to hide.
Aye, about as far south as you can get. No better place, if your end goal is Centralia, too.
It's a good plan. We shall do what we can to make sure it succeeds.
Crafty as ever, you Wolfforts. I am glad to be on your side.
But one problem remains. How do we get the Roselle and the Source to turn against their captors? If we can't win their trust, all this is for naught.
We need some way of persuading them. And quickly, too.
Let me worry about that. I can find the words to convince them. I am my mother's daughter after all.
All right. I know you'll figure something out, Frederica.
There is one more thing. Huette, I'll need to send a bird.
Of course, my lady. Where to?
The Rosellan village. I'd like to tell Jerome and the others of our plan. I would have them meet us at the Great Falls.
Agreeing to such a thing means they will have to give up the lives they enjoy now. Do you think they will come?
I cannot say. Regardless, I owe it to them to let them know Hyzanthe is invaded.
Indeed. Let us send word and see what they have to say.
Upon learning of the salt crystal deposits, Hyzanthe quickly musters her forces. They march upon the Wolffort domain, intent on seizing control of the mine. Serenoa decides to take this as an opportunity to free the Roselle enslaved at the source. But that decision leads to Benedict's departure from House Wolffort. Still grappling with grief over parting ways with their friend, Serenoa and the others make for the Hyzantean capital. There, amidst a land in turmoil, they hope to help the Roselle rise up against their oppressors.
Archduke Gustadolf, we received word from Wolffort. XM's forces have crossed into their domain.
So they know of the salt crystals. Then battle is inevitable. But how will House Wolffort respond?
I should think it obvious they will attack us. Their lord is one of the Saintly Seven, after all.
I am unconvinced of that. Perhaps they will offer us salt crystals to secure our alliance.
To what end?
History is changing around us as we speak. If Wolffort wishes to guide the shape our future takes, he will need all the help he can get. He can choose to submit to Hyzanthe's tyranny, or work with us to bring freedom to our land. Or he might choose to take advantage of the chaos. Will you follow in Lady Orlea's footsteps, Frederica? Somehow I doubt it.
Your pardon, Archduke.
It's nothing. I let my thoughts wander too far. Whatever path Wolffort chooses, they all lead to war. Ready our forces.
What? You want us to leave the city?
You couldn't have told us this sooner? I've got a family to worry about.
I understand I ask much of you, but a bloody battle is nigh. You must be ready to evacuate if it comes to it.
But where's our lord? Won't he protect us?
Lord Serenoa marches toward an even fiercer conflict than what we face here. He left me to protect the people of Wolffort in his stead. I ask that you trust in our house and do as I bid.
All right then. I suppose we'll start packing.
Your mastery at matters of war has kept us safe this long. If you say we need to leave, that's what we'll do.
You have my thanks. I've one more thing to ask of you. Something I'd like each of you to make.
Minister Exham's forces ought to be crossing into Wolffort's domain any moment now.
Will it be war, or will they relinquish the salt crystal deposits without resistance?
I think we have no cause for worry. Minister Serenoa is one of our saintly seven, after all.
Nevertheless, we cannot be certain what he will choose. Whoever controls those salt crystals controls the future of all Norzelia. Knowing that, you truly think he would give them up without a fight?
Minister Lila is right. He may very well decide to ally with Aesfrost and rise up against us. I made sure Minister Exham understood he may very well be marching to war.
Wolffort is a prideful house. If we apply too much pressure on them, they may hold out simply out of principle.
Honestly, they are more trouble than they are worth. It almost makes me wish we could turn them and Aesfrost against each other.
That is something else to consider. We could even promise them the Roselle's freedom, should they triumph over the duchy.
A fine proposition. The best outcome would be to have them destroy Aesfrost for good.
And in doing so, they'd be destroyed themselves. Surely you would not wish for such slaughter.
Soft hearts have no place here, Minister Camself. We fight for control of all Norzelia.
And we must fight to win. Our troops will need Aelfric, Minister Lila. See that they have it.
Of course. I'll see to any final adjustments at the Ministry of Medicine.
Concealed aboard Claris's consortium cart, Serenoa and his retinue slip out of the Wolffort domain past Exham's forces and make for the Hyzantean capital. As soon as they arrive, they review the particulars of their plan to lead the Roselle in revolt.